my name is David, and I am an actor. I live over in New York City, and I'm here today to do a play for you guys about my life growing up. Now, how many of you guys have seen a play before? Just like almost everybody, right? Now, the kind of play that I do is called a solo play. Now, that means there's just one actor. But it doesn't mean there's only one character. I get to play lots of different characters, like my dad. Hey, everybody. This is a play about my son, David. Or my mom. Hi, y'all. This is a play about my baby boy. I even get to play some of the other kids I grew up with, like my friend Anne. Oh my gosh. David totally thinks that I am going to be his girlfriend. Whatever. And lots of characters that I could do by changing my voice or using gestures. Now, the most important question we have to answer is, how did this one-handed kid from South Georgia become an actor living in New York City? Now, to answer that question, we have to start from the very beginning. Not so long ago. Way down in the state of Georgia, it was Labor Day, and my mom is in labor. You do not want to see the end of that. And my dad, he was on his way to the waiting room. Excuse me, my wife, she was just sitting right here. I had to get the baseball glove from the car. Excuse me, could someone help me? Yes, thank you. Her name is Harrell, Catherine Harrell. She was sitting right here. I just had to get the baseball glove from the, I'm sorry, what? She's in the delivery room? You mean this thing is like, whoop, whoop, happening? I need to get in there because, I'm sorry, what? I can't go in. I just have to wait here with my entire family? No, it's fine. No worries. I can wait. Hey, Pop, Nanny, Poppy, Mimi, Ruth, Lamar, Trish, Dan, George, Paul, Rob, Joe, Carol, Ann, and Wendell. Wendell, what are you doing over there? Get over here with the rest of the family. This is exciting, ain't it, y'all? You see, my son, he's going to play baseball. He's going to be better than I ever was. He's going to be the next great right-handed pitcher like Goose Gossage. What's that, Wendell? What if he is a she? You hush your face, Wendell. He ain't going to be no she. No, sir. He is going to be a he. Now, hush your face. Here comes the doctor. Hush it. Hey, Doc. What do you got? It's a he. Yeah, I'm listening. Everyone is healthy. Everyone is fine. It's just my son was born without his right hand. But how's he going to play baseball? No, wait, I'm sorry. Is there anything else wrong? Can he breathe properly? He's fine and he's healthy. He's just missing his right hand. Could I see him? Oh. Look at him. He is cute. I mean, he looks like me, so he's going to be cute. I want to take him to see his mama, Kathy. Hey, you, I brought you our boy. He is beautiful. Honey, what happened to his hand? Well, the doctor said he was born without it. It's just a glitch. Well, he ain't going to be different. He's got your name, for goodness sake. Abner David Harrell III. Life is going to be hard enough for him as it is with a name like that. But we'll call him David. And you are never going to be different. Do you hear me, David? You are never going to be different. I got it. Hey, Wendell, family, my son is just going to play baseball left-handed. And that is how I entered the world. You see, my parents promised me I was never going to be different, even though I was born without my right hand. And now my parents had never seen anyone who looked like me, so they took me to this place called the Shriners Hospital, and they fitted me with what they call a prosthesis. Now, a prosthesis is an artificial arm, and the first one I got was called the mitt. It's not really like this kind of mitt. It looked like a big, giant winter mitten. And it's designed for a guy or a girl who's born like me to learn how to crawl and to maintain the proper development of our balance. And the kids at this Shriners Hospital, I saw them as just kids like me. And we would play games like Candyland, or we would solve puzzles of Mickey Mouse, or we would play G.I. Joe or Care Bears. And then they would call your name. Now, I didn't like this part. You see, you entered a room full of doctors, and you were led to a chair in the center of the room, and someone would read my chart while someone else held up my arm for all to see. My arm had just hung in the air while men and women in white coats twisted and turned and bent my arm using words I could not understand. Doctor, 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 and doctor. This young child has a malformation of his right hand. So, young man, tell us, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I learned a new song. You want to hear it? Little bunny boo-boo, hopping through the forest, scooping up the field mice and bonk 'em on the head with my nub. My dad would watch from the back of the room. Oh, my goodness. And then he would take me by the hand and he would lead me down the hallways to the basement of that Shriners Hospital to be fitted for a new prosthesis. Now, I was always fitted by this guy named Bruce. He was a giant. I would look up at him, and he would look down at me. Now, Bruce had an artificial leg, and sometimes he would let me karate chop it with my nub. Ki-ya! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Simmer down now. We've got to get you a new prosthesis. Now, Bruce took this big bucket of water, and he had this casting stuff. And he put the casting stuff in the water. And once it was wet, he began to wrap my arm. And I could feel the heat of it as it became solid. It was the makings of a new prosthesis. So, David, I hear you're about to start preschool. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a baseball player or a football player. I do know I want a Letterman jacket. Well, how do you know what a Letterman jacket is? Well, my dad takes me to see the Glen Academy football team play football on Friday nights, and after the games, all the guys come out with the jackets with the big letter on them, and they all have girlfriends. And I want to be just like them. Well, that's a good thing to want to be. But you, more than anyone else, are going to need lots of perseverance. You see, I didn't know what perseverance meant. So I went to the one person who knew everything. That was my granddad, Pop Pop. Pop Pop, today at the Shriners, Bruce said I needed a whole lot of perseverance. You know what that is? I tell you what, David. Perseverance is a lot like my Little League baseball team. See, we were called the Little Potatoes and hard to peel. See, we were smaller than the other kids and maybe not as talented, but we always played with our hearts. So it didn't matter if we won or we lost. We never got down because we knew on the inside we were tough and hard to peel. I had no idea what Pop Pop was talking about. But I was about to start preschool, and everybody knows the best part of preschool is that glorious slide at the playground. And I was in a race, neck and neck with this kid, Cliff Tankersley, to be first in line, and I win. Hey, Captain Hook. You better watch out with that thing on your arm. You might break somebody's face. Hey, Captain Hook. Did you ever find that alligator, Captain Hook? You might find it in your mom's bathtub. Captain Hook. Captain Hook. Captain Hook. Captain Rah! I lifted up my hook at Cliff Tankersley, and he ran away. And I chased him all the way back to the school building. And then I went back to that slide because now I was going to be first in line. I climbed to the top of the slide, and I reached out my arm. And for the first time, I see it. I mean, really, see it. My hook. I looked down at all the other kids looking up at me, and I realized that my parents lied to me. I am different. The rest of my play is about the journey I go on to try to accomplish all these things that I think will make me normal. And I have another play that's designed for kids a little bit younger, for K through 2 or 3. It's called The Boy Who Would Be Captain Hook, and it focuses on my childhood because I wore a prosthetic hook just like this all the way to 5th grade. And a lot of times when I ran out to recess, kids were scared of me, and they didn't know how to include me. And in my play, I'm only included when the game is Peter Pan, so I could be Captain Hook. And at first, it's so great to be included and to get to play, but I also realize I want to be more than this. I want to be more than just the kid who wore a hook. So in both of my shows, I have to learn the lesson that I'm never going to have 2 hands like you, or you, or you. But this is just one of the many, many, many differences that make me completely and beautifully normal, like you, and you, and you, and you. You see, normal is right here. It exists right here. And I also learned that story my grandfather told me about his Little League baseball team, the little potatoes and hard to peel. Well, that's just a metaphor for life. You see, we all play this game of life, and sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. But no matter what circumstance we find ourselves in, that circumstance can never peel away the core of who we really are, our humanity. So people will look at me, and they look at this, and they see limitations. But I believe there is a flip side of limitation. I believe that we can find ways to move forward despite our limitations. So, when you face challenges, and when you face limitations, and when you face difficult circumstances beyond your control and certainly not your fault, I want you to remember my story. No, you know what? Check that. I want you to remember my granddad, because he was a heck of a guy. No matter what you face, no matter the limitation, the challenge, the circumstance, always know it never peels away the core of who you are. You can choose to be a little potato and hard to peel. Thank you guys for your time. You were an amazing audience. Thank you so much. Thank you guys.